And just for a little bit, we'll go back in and we'll update you guys on the Fallout build. But I think you guys have seen some of my pictures if you follow me on Instagram and whatnot, where the last time I had the amp out and I had the tally out and some other CPG builds out, I only grabbed my well, it's Joy are good pedals. They're portable pedals, honestly. They're nothing to laugh at. But this is supposed to be like the vintage overdrive, so pretty much like the old school tube TS-808. And it's pretty close. Obviously, it's not a tube inside of here, but you've seen that out, and then you've seen the wah out. So, but I'm always going upstairs, up and downstairs, up and downstairs, up and downstairs, and grabbing all of my freaking pedals, like 2 or 3 at a time. I don't have that many, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pedals. I still have 2 more to get. I really need to get a boost, or overdrive, or an EQ, for that orange amp. I've always played Fender amps my whole entire life. And then went away for 18, 19 years. Got back into this. So I'm pretty much starting from, the ground up again on everything, sadly enough. And I can't get this orange amp to just... I'm chasing the sound in my head, and I just can't get it to do it. So I think what I need is like an EQ, boost pedal, another decent, like, a different type, like a different type of an overdrive. And I also need to get a tape delay. And the reason for the tape delay is some of the music I'm writing and some of the things I'm working on and wanting to play are very, 60s, 70s psychedelic rock, like the Led Zeppelin, mostly Zeppelin. Zeppelin feel, Zeppelin vibe. And I've always wanted a tape delay pedal. I'm unfortunately like the big name brands. The only big name brand I have is this guy right here, the OG of the OG. That's it. Well, besides BBE, and I don't even think BBE is around anymore. And this pedal, I've got to take it apart. It has some issues. But I don't know if it's one of these or not. I don't know what's going on with this, but it doesn't work half the time for some reason. It's got a brand new battery in it. All of these that I use, yes, you've got these to hook up that stuff, but dude, I'm an old school guy where every single one of these pedals, I only use 9-volt batteries, man. I'm a 9-volt battery guy. I'm not really... These are new age pedals, but you can do the old school way of 9-volt batteries. I mean, hell, even this guy, still surviving from the 90s, still kicking ass and taking names. The metal plate's gone off of here, so you can see, right, baby. And this guy's a monster. So this guy's not going to fit on the pedal board. I don't have a big fancy pedal board. I have a pedal board that'll fit 5 to 6 pedals, which, the other 2 pedals I need to get to complete what I'm trying to go for with my tone and sound, all that kind of stuff. I can switch any of these out. So 80s wise, you gotta have your phaser. So this one's nice. It sounds like the old Phase 90 or 95 MXR. And those are expensive. This analog, that's another 80s tone that everybody loves. And then, of course, this one is the unsung hero. You have to have a classic flanger. If you're an 80s guy and play 80s, hair metal days, you gotta have the classic flanger. You gotta have an analog delay. And of course, this is country tone too. The phaser's country tone. And I love this guy, but there's something wrong with it. I gotta take it apart and inspect it more. But the vibrato and chorus, the pedal won't work. I don't know if there's a short in it. I gotta take this thing apart, but I'm still gonna put it on the damn pedal board because, well, I like this thing. So, but yeah, BBE, like I said, I don't even know if BBE is around anymore. BBE had awesome pedals. They had the Mindbender, you had the Granada, which is like a rendition of the TS-808. Um, I'm trying to think. There's quite a few other good pedals. They had a classic flanger, which really hit deep and hard. I had that one. I had both the Granada and the classic flanger. It's a red box. It's about I think it's about this size, I think, or the medium size. I can't remember. I had all that stuff. But I'm tired of carrying my pedals up and down the up and down, up down. So this thing's new. I mean the not the box, the thing, but I don't really need these guys. But I'm gonna keep them just in case. Like I said, I'm a 9-volt guy. So we're gonna set the pedal board up, and then we'll get you guys going and caught up on the Fallout build. I forgot to post pictures, so like I said, depending on who you are, and if you follow me on, if you follow my Instagram, or follow me on Facebook, let me get this out of the way. Like I said, if you follow me on there. All right. This thing's still nice. See, we got the rubber boots. But anyways, so I'm gonna get this thing done officially. Get it out of the way. I'm happy with it. So trying to decide whether I want the Velcro down. Yeah, got a little bit of my scissors here. But anywho, so we're gonna get this thing set up, get it out of the way, and then we'll go and get you guys updated on the Fallout build. I'm gonna try to finish it up here in the next couple of days. But we'll go where it's hard. We'll go in the kitchen and we'll get you caught up here in a little bit. All right. Trying to decide whether I want the Velcro down or I want this down. Probably gonna go with this and then put the Velcro. So anywho, we get this set up. I gotta grab my scissors. Go. Hey. So yeah, then we'll get to the fun stuff. I finally broke down. I'm like, all right, let's get this done. Because like I said, I keep going up and down the stairs grabbing all my pedals. You know what I mean? So we'll get the pedal board set up. And then we'll get to the Fallout guitar. Like I said, hopefully, it's today Tuesday, so hopefully, maybe Thursday or Friday, the Fallout guitar will officially be wrapped up. I gotta get the hardtail in position, get the holes drilled for it. I gotta get the pickup soldered up, especially to the pot. But I'll show you guys that in a minute. Like I said, if you're not friends with me on Facebook or Instagram, then you guys haven't seen like the special behind the scenes updates. I put a lot more privately on Facebook than I do Instagram. Uh, the last time I talked to you guys, I got everything done. We got the clear coat done on that. Whew. Ah. So I got the clear coat done. It looks really good. The thing is really killer. So once we're done with the pedal board here, like I said, I was tired of because I don't go anywhere. I don't have a band to play with anymore. So it's just me. So I don't go on the road and play. So I mean, this thing just you know sits in its nice little bag. But I'm like, you know what? I'm playing a lot more at home now since I recovered from my accident and can play a little bit. Um, and I'm hoping to try to, find some people I can maybe play with, Uh, but regardless, um, I just need to get the damn pedal board done. So we'll get this thing built with you guys. My advice, depending on what your age bracket is, so please let me know what your age bracket is to help me determine how I can help you. Um, everybody's different, so we'll start with that. Everybody is different when it comes to, if you need 10,000 pedals or you don't need 10,000 pedals. Um, so me, um, I at least at one point in time in my life, because like I said, I'm getting back into this again. I've been away from a long time from music, all that kind of stuff. Um, but when I was traveling around, I had, about 12 pedals back in the day. The majority of it was MXR. I love Jim Dunlop stuff, man. I mean, like I said, this is the only OG right here. So, and this needs a little bit of work. I need to get some oil for this because it's sticking. It doesn't glide right now. You gotta hammer it down. It's old. I mean, come on. You can see cat hair in there and all sorts of stuff. So this guy's old. It's the only OG, man. As kids would say in this day and age. But I've always loved Box. But I don't think most people also know that the Box name belongs to Jim Dunlop now, and MXR. Jim Dunlop bought the rights to Box, and now officially owns it. Jimi Hendrix, even SRV, Stevie Ray Vaughan, used Box Waz. But he also had a backup for the OG Crybaby. And this one's so OG that you have to take this off, put the 9-volt battery back in. There's a new age version where this is cut out at the bottom, and you just pop the plastic top and put it in there. These are still the OGs, in my opinion. They sound a lot better, only because the components are older versus newer. It's the only end discrepancy, really. And like I said, it's just my opinion. Those are the things that I've learned over the years. And when you build your pedal board, I don't use it. I don't use a tuner because I tune by ear. I used to play piano growing up, so I can gauge by my ear. I do have the original OG Korg tuner. They used to be about this long, and they're giant and square. You would plug your input jack into it, plug it to your guitar, and it had like a mini speaker about that big around, so piezo disc, and you can hear yourself play, and you can watch the gauge go like this. That's old school circa. The original Korgs were like 86, 88, and they even used them right up to I think 2005, somewhere in there. Um, and I still have that thing. It's just buried upstairs. I gotta get it just in case, but I don't have a tuner. So the other thing, I gotta get these damn things off. I gotta take the back off to get them off. So people always use a tuner, and like I said, unfortunately, this guy is not fitting on the pedal board. It ain't fitting on the pedal board, man. It fits sideways, but it looks stupid as hell. So this guy is gonna be resting next to it. So basically, I go out and play somewhere. This guy's sitting next to it, and all I gotta do is just. And all these are MXR patch cables. That's all I use is MXR patch cables. I've always trusted MXR my whole entire life with patch cables. They've never done me wrong. So basically, my setup would be this is on the floor since it's not fitting on this tiny guy. Right next to it. So we're going to run that first. And then I think I'm going to go with the Vintage Overdrive. So we'll do Vintage Overdrive. Then we'll do the Phaser, because those are the first 80s tones, and then my blues tones and my country tones that I play. So the Phaser. And then I think I will go with the classic flanger. And then we'll go with my analog. And then we'll wrap it up with the BBE Mind Bender, just because it's not working that well. What fit on here? I thought I ordered the bigger one, but obviously I didn't order the bigger one. I don't think I'm going to have enough room. I just leave the BBE out. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 instead of 5. Now let's here. Go with flanger. Alright, so yeah. Alright. I guess we'll leave the BBE off. That's fine. Alright. Perfect. Okay. Always carry spare patch cables. I think I've got, I don't remember now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I don't have a lot of, and this board's tiny, so it's not like it's a big giant board, which is by me. So, but always carry spare patch cables. Always carry spare daisy chains if you're going to daisy chain everything. Always carry spares. Spare zip ties in case if you need them. Smaller. Ouch. Fingers. Ugh. And if you have cats, you're going to get cat hair all over everything. Alright. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, to get this set up, sorry guys. You just gotta remove all your little, like if you got plastic pads, always remove that if you're gonna put the Velcro on. So that's what I'm doing here. And then we're gonna get everything set up and going. But yeah, always carry spares, man. If you never have too many patch cables, And like I said, because of me, I'm keeping this in the bag, the daisy chains, because I only use 9-volt batteries. That's my own preference. All my pedals, my whole entire life, all they've ever been is the 9-volt batteries. I even used to have my Fender Champ amp. You could use your plug and plug it into the wall, but it also had a little tray compartment underneath where you'd have those big old giant D batteries. And I always used to use that because I loved playing outside. And back then, there really wasn't any venues outside who had power, so you always had to have batteries. So, it's pretty much second nature, really. And there's no wrong way of doing this. Basically, when you set up a pedal board, it has to be. Let me get this on real fast, and then I'll explain my own logic to you. Basically, there is no wrong way to do a pedal board. Pedal board, it's all about your own preference. Basically, like I said, some people, like I said, I don't use a tuner. I tune by ear, or I use my little chord tuner, the old school one from the 80s. I still have that thing. It's just upstairs somewhere, and I don't remember where I put it. Okay. So my setup is immediately Crybaby, but the board's too small, so it's just gonna sit next to the board. It's honestly okay. That's a little less weight. This thing's about like 2 pounds, so and then it runs straight into the vintage phase because that is country tone, and then phase analog overdrive. Actually, I could probably switch out the analog and we'll go with. We'll go phaser, and then I'll do overdrive, and then I will do my analog. So there's no right or wrong way. It's whatever you're going to use first, and then on down the line. It's your own preference. Don't let anybody else tell you different. Because if somebody else tells you different, they're full of shit. It's about your own preference. What pedal are you gonna grab first, and then on down the line. I mean, there's been a lot of advancements over the years of a lot of things. Some things I'm not too fond of because I don't like big fancy technology. And we'll line it up. Classic flanger. I gotta fix this guy. Anyways, it's my BBE. Um, so my chain goes uh, guitar, wah, phase, overdrive, analog, classic flanger. Because I don't use it that much. So it's basically blend the classic flanger with a little bit of phase, and then we go into either using an analog or the overdrive. Kind of like a TS-808. I wish this was a tube amp one, because that'd be funner than shit, and those are really fucking expensive. The original OGs. Alright, now we're cooking with Crisco and peanut oil. Alright. Okie dokie. Okay. What's up, Peanut? I'm in the mood. What you doing? You some sad, buddy? That's hand shaking up right. Oh, there we go. Try and get it. Try and get it. Okay. Alright. Alright. And then another thing. What you doing, Milmo? Another thing that was on my mind is, besides extra patch cables, I have to redo my pedals, obviously. One thing that I do that has always helped me out is I take a piece of tape, put a piece of tape where you want these at. So, like, you take it in and out or something, and you actually bump your knob. You know exactly what position to put it back into, and that position that sounds to you. Forgot to mention that to everybody. So, I'll be doing all mine over again to where take all your pedals, like, say. So, mine are all messed up again. They're not in the position that I want them back in. So, I'll have to tweak it again, and then I'll take a piece of tape, put a piece of tape over the mark of where these are set at, and then so if I bump these coming in and out of the gig bag, then I know exactly where to put my knobs at. So that's another little tidbit of information. Like I said, all I need to do is just get like the 2 or 3 more pedals I need. I can switch them out occasionally on this thing. So that's just a little bit of tidbit of information that can help you. Hey, are you chewing Dad's fucking cord? Are you nuts? Dad doesn't need that right now. But if I had the daisy chain and use a 12-volt plug-in, child, see, this is why Dad can't have nice things. I love you. But yeah, always mark them. Come on. Mark all of your knobs. Mark every single one of them. What sounds good to you, and that way, if they accidentally move, you bump them. You know exactly where you want to put them back because that's where they're going to sound good at. It's just my little hack. Like I said, there's a lot of things I learned over the years that I didn't really have anybody to teach me. It was just kind of one of those things like, you live and you learn. But this is okay for me. I'd have more space if it wasn't for this big classic flanger. But, we're butted right up against the side. So once again, my setup, wah, phase, overdrive, analog, classic flanger. Because the rest of this, from the vintage phase, you could use a phase, overdrive, from overdrive to an analog delay. And the classic flanger, you get that Van Halen-esque, I don't play covers, but Van Halen-esque tone. Because a phase goes with your overdrive, goes with the analog, goes with the classic flanger. It's layered. It's really what you want to call your music. It's layered. Yeah, so I need to plug this in and hey, Missy Moo, I cannot believe you're trying to attack Daddy's stuff right now. That's what happens when you have a kitten. But yeah, it's not rocket science. It's nothing crazy. Except for my kitten being crazy. It's about it. It's all about your own preference. At the end of the day, it's your own preference. really need to open the windows in here, but the problem is they're mowing outside. It's loud as shit. But it's all preference. So because this board's so small, and I'm okay with it because I'm not traveling gigging. I haven't for many years, but if I go back on the road and maybe somebody calls me up like, hey man, can you fill in on guitar or fill in on bass or fill in on drums because I played everything, um, I'm set. And then, like I said, I need to get the tape delay, analog tape delay to get my 60s, 70s um, tones down just right. And then either a boost or an EQ pedal because I don't like my orange amp that I have. I've been so used to Fender my whole entire life that the new age amp, it doesn't hit. It doesn't feel right. I don't know how to really explain it, but back to pedals. We'll back to pedals. Sorry. It's your own personal setup. So, Crybaby, because it doesn't fit, it's just gonna sit right here. Daisy chain up just like this. Scoot this over. You guys see that okay? So, wah, phase, overdrive, analog delay, flanger, and then I gotta get this guy fixed and we can use this guy again. I don't even think BBE's around anymore. I don't know what happened to them. They kind of just fell off the face of the earth, but BBE always used to make some killer stuff, but this guy, something's wrong with it. I need to pop it open and see what's going on. It ain't working right. And then I can switch out my classic flanger because I don't use it that much. I use it like on, dive bomb sequences. That classic flanger, that's some Pantera stuff where an analog delay and a classic flanger kick in along with Dimebag signature wah that he used. So a classic flanger is like that last, if you play some Winger, play some Rat, Poison, Warrant, LA Guns. Everybody used a classic flanger. Just a flanger. It was basically a chorus on steroids, and now because people are trying to bring back the old names, that's why this is just called classic flanger, because it's supposed to sound like the old. It was an analog chorus mixed with vibrato, is what it was. The classic flanger. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I just don't have anything like that anymore. But yeah, so my chain is pretty simple. You got your Crybaby, phase, overdrive, analog delay, classic flanger. You basically use your analog flanger together, and then you can mask it with a phase depending on what style is that you play. Let me unplug this again. And that's simple. In that order, it's all about your own order. And like I said, the other trick, if you're going to be, touring, whether you're playing at a bar, whatever it might be. Let's say that you get your pedal out of its. I used to prefer those big giant, the steel briefcases. But this is just fine too. But the other tip and trick I want to tell you people, if you're going to go out playing somewhere, let's say you have a roadie, someone to help you set up your equipment, or you have a tech guy. He's doing your strings for you, or he's helping you set up your pedal board. Let's say one of the knobs gets switched, right? In order for you to remember where that sounds good at, take a piece of tape, just electrical tape, tape a piece of electrical tape on there, put a dot on the electrical tape, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, I need I need to take my knob to here, or I need to take my knob to here. Use electrical tape on every single one of your pedals. Put dots, because right now when I just did this, I messed up. I'll have to redo all these because I accidentally was like holding them upside down and holding them on my hands, so I messed them all up. They're gonna be all out of whack now. And that's one thing I'll have to go back and do is put my tape on there. I learned that years ago when I used to travel doing this stuff, guys. Um, it's stuff to think about to make your life easier. I never had someone. I never had a tech guy. I was my own tech guy. See, listen to this thing. It's a little. It's a little old. He's a little love. But yeah, that's simple. Crybaby, phase, overdrive, analog, classic flanger, and then I'm gonna have to get this guy fixed because I love this guy. This thing's awesome. BBE, man. Like I said, I don't even know if they're around. I don't know. This thing was just running into some. I don't know. I gotta take the back off of this and I gotta figure it out. But basically, yeah, because I'm not using. I'm not using the 12-volt setup. So this will just go back in here. And then there's spare cables. Like I said, MXR, I've always used MXR, so get yourself MXR patch cables. They're really good. If you prefer another company, you prefer another company. I think that's always been, that's where everybody's different. Somebody prefers this company, somebody prefers that company, but, I've used MXR my whole entire life, besides all of my guitar cables are Fender. I got a buddy of mine, his name is Anthony Turco, and he makes patch cables, he makes guitar cables. He's going to make some, and I'm going to share them with you guys. He's an awesome guy. So check him out on Instagram or Facebook. But yeah, I mean, it's just that simple. That's my setup. It's simple, it's easy. I don't need 50,000 freaking pedals. I need about 7 or 8 pedals. That's really all that I need, is 7 or 8 pedals. Like, no shit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus the other 2 I need to get, that's 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8. I gave it the old college try and forgot. But anyways, it's just that simple, guys. So let me wrap all this stuff up here. Let me get all this stuff put in here and whatnot. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Alright. Just like that. There's the bag. And what I love about this, it's got straps on the back, so you can put it on your gig bag. So that's a win-win. You're on daddy's stuff. Give me the scissors at least. Give me the scissors. Before you hurt yourself, child. Alright, let's get everything picked up here, and then we'll get you in the kitchen. So give me a minute. Okay. Did Daddy pick up all this stuff that you're on? Did Daddy pick up his mess? Did Daddy pick up his mess? You got more underneath you? You got more underneath you? Probably do, huh? Alright, guys. Let's go in the kitchen now. So, I hope that, that little pedal board segment helps some of you guys out. If you missed it, just wait till this goes after live and it'll be up for you guys to enjoy. But I hope that helps people out in understanding pedals and pedal boards. It ain't rocket science, guys, at all. So let me put you guys up here. I need to go drink of water. Alright, guys. Alright, sorry, I need a glass of water. Any Hoosier. So since I've seen you guys last, what I wanted to do as well is I went ahead and coated this whole entire box in that warm gloss poly. Nice and shiny. So every one of my builds I do, if you're new to being a part of this, every one of these builds I do is I would burn a name in the back, obviously the year that it's built, and this time I decided to go rough instead of nice. Fitting with the whole theme, like some guy took a spoon or something, heated over fire, did whatever. But I did 2026. I made that kind of look like, you used the end of a knife and heated it and twisted it. AHGs I always put, and then my other maker's mark I always put the railroad sign because I've always been a big steam train guy, and E and F unit guy. And I did 4 coats to also help protect this sticker on the back. Because normally I've got my belt on with my big old belt buckle and I'm sitting here, playing along. And I don't want my belt rubbing on that. So it's going to rub on the poly. And then, so the saddle is going to be about right here, 25.5. This is 25.5 inch scale, kind of like the old Esquires. But I noticed that my palm, where my palm's going to be sitting picking this guy at, and my fingernails are going to be hitting the top of this, I figured if I put 4 coats of poly on this, that it's going to help protect, my hand rubbing on it, and my fingernails, and the picking. So like I said, did 4 coats of that warm gloss. Whew! Look at that. Did the whole wood burning. And I got to put my wrist brace on, but the last part of this is, wiring everything up. So we've got to wire this guy to this guy to this guy, meaning the jack. Well, the jack's over here. I haven't put it in yet. Getting this thing wired up. So hopefully here in the next couple of days, this thing's gonna sing. But I need a really steady hand. So the next time you're gonna see this together, guys, is when we get this thing all ready to go and tuned up, test it, and get to jamming and getting the sound of how this P90 is gonna sound. Because it's spec wound from the 1950s. So it's gonna sound, it should sound, I've heard other people have these on their builds, and it should sound, well, mine's gonna be different. The wood that I used and how this is gonna really, really capture this thing, plus with the bullet holes, it should sound like, it should be a record from, like the old Victrola days, or, RCA, or something, or I mean, I was trying to think of the one from the 1950s, the company that's no longer around that used to make music. But it should have that 1950s, quality. Kind of like the Great Bandstand days, that kind of thing going. So yeah, it's just like 25.5 inch. This thing just deserved to be hardy, right? And that nice warm gloss. That thing really looks good. But yeah, I decided instead of trying to burn the Fallout name in the back, um, because it was hard keeping my hand steady even with my brace on doing all the wood burning I did here. So I just roughed it. I like it, but my OCD is all my other builds are clean and pristine, and but with this damn hand shit and everything, I'm not the same person as I once was 3 years ago doing all this. So, gotta give a little. Man, I love this thing, dude. Bam! This thing is awesome. I think it is, anyways. Um, and I figured I would get you guys the next build coming up. It's going to be taking this Padron box, and I'm going to sand it down to get the clear coat off of this thing. And then I'm going to add my own tobacco burst with the gunstock stain around the perimeter, and the meaty in the middle is going to be my honey stain. So doing my own tobacco burst, and then I gotta get this thing cut down. So this thing's gonna get cut down. We're only using the center disc right here. Old Jack Daniels, old number 7. So it's just the center disc. So that'll sit right in the middle here. And then we'll have an F-hole off to the side over here. Probably about right. The F-hole is going to start here and work its way up a little bit. I'm probably going to do a medium F-hole and not a large F-hole, obviously. And this thing is just going to act... We're not even going to cut a hole. It's just going to be like a resignation cone because of adding the F-hole. And these boxes are absolutely wonderful tone. They're wonderful tone. So this one's going to be fun. This one's going to be called Outlaw. And, so yeah, we got to cut this down just so it's tinier. It just looks better. So I got to carefully take my wire snippers. Or not wire snippers. I got to take my tin snips. Cut that out. And F-hole. I haven't decided whether I'm going to use a P90 on this, or a lipstick tube, or a dog ear soap bar P90. I haven't decided yet. I don't have any of those except for some more soap bars, but I haven't decided what this thing should get, really. I don't know yet. I don't know what this thing should get. I don't know if it should get a soap bar, the regular soap bar, a dog soap bar. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, get this thing sanded down. Yeah, nice F-hole, this thing in the center. My other hickory right here, the last neck I have, we'll get that. And then I've got one more of my oak neck blanks over here, but it needs a lot of work. So, but that's my thought process. So, that's the next one that's gonna be coming up in line there. So yeah, I'm gonna do all that stuff, and like I said, I hope that beginning of this video here with the pedal board and the explanations, I hope that helps some of you guys out there. If you're new and upcoming into the music world, I hope that helps you out. Like I said, I'm still trying to get companies on board, guys. For that new series I want to do with y'all called Coffee and a Talk with AHG. So yeah, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to do, and yeah, So I need to get the soldering done on that thing. And the next time you guys will see the Fallout build, the next time you guys see this thing, like that warm gloss, man. Woo! Hot dog! The warm gloss just really pops. So the next time you see this wonderful thing, guys, we'll be rocking and a rolling. Rocking and a reeling, Bobber Ant, bop, 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 Bobber Ant. Yes, I know, fucking Beach Boys. Why, I don't know, it popped into my head. Uh, so, cheers to you. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, guys. And we will catch you back here on the flip side of the dark side of the moon, back here at AHG. Here in the next day or two, guys. But I love y'all. You know, be you, stay true, be real. You know, go spread some love and positivity in the world. Go kick the world's ass. And just enjoy life, guys. I love y'all. Thank you all so much for love and support. And I'm going to be thinking of plenty more fun things for all of us to do. Woo! But just have a good rest of your Tuesday, guys. I'm out. I love y'all.